G'day, Harriet. We are now at the end of your journey on TinTin. You've sailed from Apua to Port Vila in Vanuatu. How was your trip?
It has been a fantastic trip. I have loved every moment of it. I think we worked out it's been exactly 3 weeks since I jumped aboard in Whangarei and did the short, I think it was a 2-day, an overnight sail to Apua.
Shakedown sail?
Yeah, shakedown sail, in which I was very, very seasick, so that was an interesting test. But no, it's been amazing. It's been a fabulous 3 weeks and I've had the best time.
So, what are the highlights?
Oh, lots of highlights for me. I think one of them was swimming in the middle of the ocean. I think we're 500 nautical miles from New Zealand and pretty much the same distance from Vanuatu as well, and we had a really calm, beautiful day, pretty picturesque conditions, and we're able to jump off, which I didn't think we'd be able to do. So very lucky that you were accommodating of that.
We should all thank Fiona for that.
Yes, crazy Fiona made it happen, which was really special. And second to that, probably, or maybe something that trumps that for me, just recently was learning to freedive. Very lucky to have a freediving instructor on board with us.
Again, we need to thank Emil for the freediving tuition.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
He's clearly very passionate about what he does.
Yeah.
Star of the show.
Yeah, and shy.
Very shy, yeah. He's mute actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but he's clearly passionate about what he does, and he was able to teach Fiona and me how to freedive, which was really unexpected and very special, so a real highlight.
Yeah, very cool. And what do you think you learned the most about sailing?
Oh, what did I learn most about sailing? Probably that cruising, because I've done a little bit of racing, but I've never cruised before, and what I was most surprised by was how little action there is, and that's
boring.
Neither here nor there. No, absolutely not, because the upside is there's more time for stargazing at night, and enjoying night watches, and reading books, cooking, doing all sorts of things, but surprisingly less action than I had anticipated. In saying that, we had a number of lessons in tying knots, in making soft shackles, and what I learnt most was probably just around the functioning of a boat. So, you know, how to run a generator, how to make water, how to gosh, I don't know, time.
Anchor, even.
Anchor, yeah, how to anchor. That was a good one, actually.
Yeah, you guys have been doing quite a bit of anchoring lately, and we've been quite successful.
Yes, we have, yes. And yeah, so I would say just all the practical elements of the boat. Yeah,
and I've been learning quite a bit off you, like cooking, and you know, watching all you guys how you cook and your experimentation. Like, pretty thrilled with the watch cookies or watch brownies.
Experimental brownies.
Experimental brownies. They were a bit of a hit by everybody, I think, but I enjoyed those. And yeah, I've enjoyed having you as crew. You've been a lot of fun. I think you know, you came with some aspirations about, you know, what you would achieve, and I think cruising is very different to racing. Mm-hmm. But also, I watched you go from being quite cautious to being, you know, really enjoying yourself and enjoying sailing and getting a lot out of it and participating in it, in all aspects of it, which I think is amazing. And you've been a really fun crew, so I've enjoyed having you as crew. What do you think are the worst aspects of sailing?
Oh, what a great question. I think
it's not that hard, is it?
Gosh, the worst aspects of sailing. I think it really Depends. What? I mean, oh no. On. Oh, is that what you're saying? I thought you were saying you. Seasickness. Yeah, that's honestly, if I didn't have scopoderm on the longer stretch, it would have possibly been a struggle if I'd been seasick. So that can be a real downside if it affects you.
So what are your tips for future ocean sailors with regards to managing seasickness?
Well, I know that some people believe it's all in the mind, and I do think it's important to have a positive and determined attitude to get past it. But I also, having dealt with quite a bit of seasickness, don't think it's entirely mental. I think sometimes it's out of your control, and so I think what was lucky for me was that it didn't last long, and knowing that it would pass. And I think just having that mentality of it'll be rough while you're going through it, but it'll pass. So I think just having that mentality is important. I think also, you asked what's the worst element. We didn't experience this, I don't think, but I think dynamics play a huge role in the boat, and they can probably make or break a passage. So for me, I felt that we got really lucky with the crew that we had, but I think just for other people wanting to do something similar, I think it could be challenging if you were in a boat with strong personalities who didn't want to or weren't that accommodating of people. So I think that's
I agree. I think personal dynamics play an immensely important role in small teams, and you probably know that better than most people because you work in small teams all the time and large teams. But personal dynamics are very, very important when you're working on a boat and you're at sea and there's lots of stresses. And I think you worked very, very well as a team member, and you were a lot of fun and always lighthearted, which I think is important. I was really thrilled when you got over your seasickness, and I'm pretty confident that you would. So I think you did really well. Positive mental attitude and a few pills.
Exactly.
But you participated really, really well as crew. I'm sure someone will snap you up on the next ocean passage as an experienced crew member who knows more about ocean cruising, and even if you do racing, offshore racing, you I think offshore racing and cruising are similar, not the same, but they have similar dynamics. So you'll have a bit more offshore experience, which is great. In fact, when you go back, you'll have probably more experience than most of the people you sail with, which is also good. And things like anchoring and tying up to wharves and all the little things around a boat all come in handy. And you can tie a bowline. They've been holding the dinghy on quite well, so I'm also happy with that. Excellent. It's been a thrill to have you. I've enjoyed it. I know the rest of the crew loved having you. And the food has been sensational, so you are always welcome back. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming on TinTin and making our time more enjoyable.
Thank you very much for having me, Trevor. It's been a pleasure to be on board TinTin, and I've had an absolute blast.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
TinTin!
Cool.